A cold night in Virginia, let me tell you. It's the kind of cold that gets in your bones, but that's not what haunts me. What really gets me is how they laughed. I mean, they beat my daughter and laughed like she wasn't even human. My name's Hans, and my daughter, Evelyn, 17 years old, smart, never once in trouble, was left bleeding on a city sidewalk, handcuffed like a suspect for the crime of driving home late while black. Yeah, that happened. But you know what? They picked the wrong family this time. I spent years as a Navy SEAL, did things for this country that most people never hear about. When evil crosses a line, I don't ask what state I'm in, I just ask, do I get to shake its hand or break it? What happened to Evelyn, it's not about just her anymore. It's war. Oakage at night is dead quiet, especially out on the east side, the kind of place where nobody's rich, nobody complains, and the streetlights seem to flicker and sync with folk silence. That night, Evelyn was driving her mom's old car, the headlight just fixed after it got smashed a few weeks back. She's tired, you know? School's been brutal, and it's close to 11 p.m., streets nearly empty. She rolls through a yellow at the intersection, barely yellow. Not red, then suddenly, red and blue lights sweeping behind her. Patrol car. No sirens. Just the silent kind of intimidation that doesn't need noise. She freezes, hands on the wheel. Two officers step up, white guys, one big and broad, the other with darting, nervous eyes. No good evening, no license and registration, nothing but suspicion. Ran a red light, huh? Think the law goes to sleep at night. The tall one growls. Evelyn, God bless her, tries to explain, voice steady even though her hands are shaking. Sir, it was still yellow when I crossed. The other cop leans in too close. Black kids talk back now, do they? And just like that, whatever sense of safety she felt shatters. Before she can say another word, her door yanks open. They drag her out. One grabs her arm, so hard she hears something pop. Where's your bag? Hand it over. She's confused, scared, barely understanding. And then they twist her wrist, slap on the cuffs. One yells, stay still. Resisting arrest, are you? Like she just set off a bomb. And then comes the part that plays in my mind. On a loop of fist lands on her cheek. Her head hits the car, another blow, hair yanked, face to pavement, Evelyn crying out, not even from pain, but from sheer shock. I didn't do anything. I didn't. She tries to speak, but her mouth is full of blood. There's no need for a reason. She's a black girl on a dark street, and for them, that's enough. They stand over her, sneering, laughing. Bet she'll shut up after this, one says, and they laugh like it's all a joke. They don't hide from street cams. Why would they? In their minds, nobody's ever going to check. And if the news runs the story at all, it'll just be black teen arrested for noncompliance. Evelyn's last clear thought is something I'd said years before: if you ever get in trouble, just survive. I'll take care of the rest. She never expected to need those words so soon. I was home, half awake, game on TV. When the phone rang at 11:42, I knew right away nothing good comes from call that late. Mr. Carter, this is Officer Mendez from Oakage Police. Your daughter Evelyn was assaulted during a traffic stop. She's being treated at Memorial Hospital. I barely heard the rest, just was assaulted. I don't remember grabbing my coat or keys, didn't care about shoes, didn't lock the door. I left that house like I was on a mission again, heart pounding, breath short. All those instincts I'd boxed away since the SEALs came roaring back. The hospital's only 15 minutes, but I made it in less than 10. Didn't care about red lights. Didn't care if another cop tried to stop me. By the time I pulled up, there were barricades, flashing lights, tape across the street. But I guess you never really stop carrying the look of a man who's been at war, because every uniform in my way just stepped aside. Evelyn was on a stretcher, tiny under a thin blanket, blood all over her face, her braids matted with it. She tried to open her eyes, one swollen shut, the other struggling, and she saw me. They laughed, Dad. They laughed. That broke me in ways nothing else ever had. They didn't just break her face, they broke her trust, her sense of safety, her place in the world. But if they thought I was the kind of man to write a complaint and walk away, they were wrong. I started digging official requests, video footage, every scrap of evidence. Went to the station myself, handed over the files, medical reports, photos, intersection camera footage. If I don't get a full case file in 72 hours, I said, I go to the state, the press, whoever listens. The sergeant at the desk barely looked at me. Someone will call you, he said. Upstairs, internal affairs, try to play it cool. All 3 body cams malfunctioned that night. No recordings. Yeah, right? I stared at him until he looked away, thin smile on his lips, like he'd told the same lie 100 times. What coincidence, huh? 3 cameras dead at the exact moment my daughter's beaten. But here's what they didn't count on. I'm not alone. I called Theo, an old SEAL buddy who owes me his life and pays back with tech skills the FBI should envy. Need 7 days and gear, I told him. We're going to war. 7 days to break into the police network, sift through backups, pull every deleted file, recover every malfunctioning camera feed. Meanwhile, I tracked patterns, complaints, beatings, erased evidence. Always the same officers, always the same neighborhoods. Oak Ridge had a pattern, and if I could see it, I'd bet others could, too. Theo worked for days, eyes red, fingers flying. Found logs overwritten just after Evelyn's assault. Code altered, timestamps changed, someone was scrubbing history. But luck, or maybe karma, was on our side. Theo found a temp file buried, DPAW video fragment. Grainy, but there. Evelyn sitting in her car, hands on the wheel, calm as could be. The cop leans in, and then clear as day hits her. No warning, no threat, just violence. We triple encrypted that video, sent copies out of state, stored them in places only a handful of people on Earth know about. It wasn't enough. We needed proof this was systemic. Theo ran script 17 other incidents. Same officers, same malfunction, always young black men and women, always resisting arrest, always lost connection. You see the picture yet? Not a few bad apples, but a tree rooted in rot. We found Shirley, a retired department investigator. She still had the old blueprints, the names, the memories of how this place was built to protect its own. Don't cut the branches, she told me. You want real change, break the roots. She gave us everything: internal structure, names of people who never show up in public, but hold the keys to the system. But evil doesn't go down easy. One night, 2 men broke into my garage, pinned me, threatened my kid. Touch this again, and your daughter dies. Thing is, they had no idea who I was. I got out, left them gasping on the floor. Found their tracker, fried it, moved my evidence to 3 different sites before they could blink. I hid Evelyn in a bunker only Theo and I know. Sometimes you have to go darker than the people who live in the shadows. But I wasn't going to fight alone forever. We set a trap house 0, abandoned, invisible on city records. We leaked just enough that the dirtiest cops, Breener, Carlson, and their fixer would come themselves. Shirley played the part of a whistleblower. The men threatened her, not knowing they were being recorded and transmitted live to the FBI's regional office. Everything, every threat, every boast, every admission streamed in real time. They thought they'd gotten away with it, thought they could intimidate one more woman into silence. But this time, the voices didn't echo in empty rooms, they echoed across federal servers, in a hands who'd never cared for Oak Ridge politics. I confronted them face to face, but didn't raise a hand. Didn't need to. Just watched as the weight of their own words settled in. Afterward, for the first time since it all started, Evelyn got behind the wheel again. In an abandoned lot. No cops, no sirens, just the sound of tires on concrete. She was shaky, yeah, but she kept going lap after lap until the trembling faded and her eyes fixed straight ahead. She didn't need to be brave, didn't need to prove a thing to anybody. She just needed to drive without her heart racing at every green light. That's survival. That's victory, even if the world still spins crooked. You know, people ask me if I regret anything. I do regret trusting a system built to protect itself. But I don't regret fighting back, not for 1 second. Oak Ridge may never make the news. Carlson and Breener might not see prison. But they won't sleep easy, not ever again. And that's a start. So I have to ask, what would you do? When evil knocks on your door, do you shake its hand or break it? In your city, does justice wear a badge or just a uniform that fits anyone willing to stay silent? Let's not pretend this is someone else's problem. If you got something to say about what's right, what's broken, or how communities can heal, I want to hear it. Share your thoughts, your stories, and let's see if we can draw a line together. Justice is only as strong as the people who refuse to look away.